Hey there, and welcome to my channel. Today, we're going to talk about something that almost nobody truly understands. Trauma bonds. We'll explore why we're sometimes drawn to people who hurt us, why chaos can feel so familiar, and why being treated well can actually feel uncomfortable. We'll also look at why so many anxiety survivors end up in toxic relationships. If you've ever found yourself wondering, why do I keep ending up in this same situation? I promise this video is going to change everything for you. First, let's get clear on what a trauma bond really is. It's not about love, it's about survival chemistry. Imagine this: someone gives you affection, approval, attention, and a feeling of connection. Then, suddenly, they take it all away. What happens next is that your nervous system becomes addicted to that cycle of high and low. You're not addicted to the person. You're addicted to the cycle itself. This intense push and pull creates a powerful, confusing bond that can be incredibly difficult to break. So, how does this pattern even start? For many of us, it forms in childhood. If you grew up with unpredictable parents, emotional instability, coldness, or constant yelling, your body learned a specific lesson. If there were a lot of mixed signals and inconsistency, your system learned that you have to chase love, not simply receive it. As a result, when you become an adult, you're subconsciously drawn to relationships that feel the same way: unpredictable, unstable, and inconsistent. The chaos starts to feel comfortable, while a sense of calm can feel suspicious or even boring. I know this from personal experience. When my anxiety and addiction were at their absolute worst, I found myself attaching to people who mirrored my own trauma. I was drawn to individuals who made me feel those extreme highs and lows of chaos. Healthy, stable people felt boring to me. Toxic people, on the other hand, felt like home. That's the deceptive nature of trauma bonds. They disguise immense suffering as intense chemistry. It's a painful illusion that keeps you stuck. This brings us to a crucial point. Why do trauma bonds feel so much like real love? It's because of what's happening in your body. You're experiencing dopamine spikes and adrenaline rushes. Your anxiety gets mistaken for excitement, and fear gets misinterpreted as passion, that inconsistency I mentioned. It feels like intensity, but this is not love. This is your nervous system replaying old, familiar patterns from your past. It's a biological echo, not a genuine connection. So, how do you finally escape a trauma bond? The first step is to understand that it isn't love, it's an addiction. Your brain is hooked on the pattern of inconsistency. The second step is to build a sense of safety within your own nervous system. You'll only start finding safe people attractive when you yourself begin to feel safe. Third, you have to consciously break the high-low cycle. Predictability is the antidote. It's what heals trauma bonds. Fourth, you need to reconnect with your real needs. Your body wants survival, but your soul truly wants peace. And finally, you have to choose what seems like boring consistency. It might not feel exciting at first, but it is the solid foundation upon which real, healthy love is built. If love hurts, it's not love. Healing is about finally choosing what your trauma never allowed you to receive. Now, let's shift gears slightly and talk about something closely related: why healing often feels worse before it gets better. So, you've made the decision to heal. You quit the substance, you start therapy, you try breathwork, you finally face your trauma. And you challenge your deepest fears. And then, all of a sudden, everything gets worse. If you feel like you're stuck in that difficult stage right now, this next part of the video will explain exactly why it's happening. Healing feels worse at first because you've finally stopped running. Everything you were avoiding, everything you numbed yourself from feeling, and everything you buried deep down inside begins to surface. And let's be honest, that is terrifying. You're meeting yourself unfiltered for the first time in a long time. Your body isn't malfunctioning. It's rebooting. Think of it like a computer restarting after a major update. When you remove your old coping mechanisms, the substances, the distractions, the emotional suppression, your nervous system has to rebalance itself. And the very first stage of that rebalancing process is often turbulence. It's a sign of change, not a sign of failure. I went through this myself. When I quit drugs and alcohol, the anxiety completely destroyed me. My panic disorder exploded, and my fear became unbearable. For a while, I thought I was failing. But this wasn't failure, it was a detox from years of emotional suppression. My healing wasn't calm and peaceful at first. My healing was chaos. So let's break down exactly why it feels worse. First, old emotions return. You're feeling things you haven't allowed yourself to feel for years. Second, fear feels louder. Your body is learning what safety feels like again, and that process can be scary. Third, your identity shifts. You're letting go of who you were and becoming someone new, which is disorienting. Fourth, you're finally facing the truth. The pain you avoided for so long is now right in front of you, impossible to ignore. And fifth, your nervous system is detoxing. Old, unhealthy patterns have to break down before new, healthy ones can form. So how do you survive this incredibly difficult stage? First, don't judge the pain, understand it. See it as a necessary part of your recovery. Second, take things slowly. Your body and mind need time to adjust. Third, ground your nervous system. Simple things like deep breathing, going for a walk, or journaling can make a huge difference. Fourth, lower your expectations. Healing is not a straight line. It has ups and downs, and most importantly, get support. No one heals alone. Reach out to friends, family, or a professional. Healing feels worse at first because the storm is finally leaving your body. Trust the process. Peace comes next. Thank you for watching. If this helped, please consider liking and subscribing for more content on healing and recovery.